Yeah, I've been on the road quite a bit. I've been on a ship for a couple of weeks, and then before that, I had some land gigs. I ended up showering I was at a friend's house. I'm just like crashed. What do you call that? Couch surfing sometimes. And a buddy of mine, he wanted me to use the towel that was hanging in his bathroom. Oh, you mean this crusty Wuhan Petri dish rando towel? Okay, yeah. Let me just grab the CSI crime light and we'll see. That was a CSI reference for my mom. She has seen every single one, even the ones without Mark Harmon. She's seen them all.
Oh, diehard.
She's a diehard. Yes, no pun intended. Yeah, Patty and I, we tried to watch the new, thank you, one person. We tried to watch the new Unsolved Mysteries, and I don't know, that show doesn't feel right. Because you go in knowing there's no resolve, there's no resolution, and I don't know, I just like, what's the message of that show? Like, you might get away with it. This guy did. There's another one, and another one. I don't know. Yeah, I was working on Carnival, and I really enjoy the shows at Carnival. The people just come to have a good time, and it's so much fun. And they just lifted the mask mandate, so people can just be free. It feels really good. Yeah, the drink package on Carnival, by the way, when you buy the drink package, you know how many drinks come with that? 15. No, 15. Is that the Schumachers? Yeah.
That's 1 day.
That's 1 day.
15 a day.
15 a day. A board of Carnival executives sat around a table and went, what do you think would be a reasonable amount? One for every hour they're awake every day? All day? Like when the doctor goes, what do you think you have? 2 drinks a day? 15. 15 is my plan. It's more economical.
Oh.
Would you say you're a social drinker? Very social. Oh, man. Yeah, normally when we go out at sea, the ships are so big now that you can't really feel it so much. But this last one, it got rocky out there for a bit, man. It was a little rocky road. I was out of Florida during Hurricane Dorian, and we could not go to, it was ripping apart the Caribbean, so we couldn't go anywhere we were supposed to, and they wouldn't take us back to Florida, so they just started dropping us off at these islands that had no names or roads. Tom Hanks comes out, Wilson! They had this island that I think Carnival owned the island, like as a backup, and they had zip lining. Oh, you mean on this company, on this island that has no oversight or government regulation? Yeah, let's go zip lining. That's a telephone pole. That is a telephone pole. So what else? I got an MRI. For those of you who have not had an MRI, it's a machine that checks whether or not you have claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tiny. There's no air. It's dark. I'm like, can we get some snakes in here? We'll just do all my fears at once. And every sound noise that it makes sounds like an emergency. Like alert, add specimen, eject. I'm like, what's happening? And I was kind of freaking out a little bit, so the nurse was trying to talk to me over the noise, and I couldn't understand what she was saying, so it was like Charlie Brown's teacher. If you're asking whether I can breathe, the answer's no. I can't breathe. Yeah. She was trying to talk me off the ledge. She's like, tell me about your mother. Oh. It all started out as an emergency C-section, quite like this. Boom, boom, bing, bing, bing. And by the way, freezing cold, like they're doing it on purpose. Like the whole thing is like this POW camp that they've got set up. I don't know. They offered me a blanket, and I'm like, oh, is that what we're calling this strip of gauze that you gave me, a blanket? Yes, please. I'll have 60 blankets.
What about the emergency button?
Yeah, they give you an emergency button, but I clicked it and it didn't. Nah, they didn't work. That's Julia. I can hear you, Julia. And the thing is, they don't want to start the whole process over because they have to go back to the beginning. So she would rather like try to troubleshoot over the intercom. We are not starting over. I'm such a wimp, though. I should have just sucked it up. But even when I was a kid, I felt bad for like my little league coach. He'd be like, right field is that way. That way, Jason. Like theater class, theater, right field. Quit picking the flowers, Jason. Quit picking your nose, Jason. I still have all these little, I don't know, you call them quirks or peccadillos. For instance, if I have sticky fingers, that's all that I will be able to think about. I mean, that's all you will hear about until that situation. Like, I wouldn't have to be a POW. You wouldn't need an MRI machine. You just put some Smucker's jelly beneath my wedding ring. I'll be like, I'll tell you anything. They're attacking at midnight. Waterboard my finger. Okay, well, I'm going to keep my part short this time because we have a full lineup and a special bonus comedian, and I want everybody to get their 10 minutes in. So that's my part. I'm your host, Jason Love. Thank you all for coming.
Woo!
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
And I can't see you all, but I heard the Schumachers, and I know Jason and Jennifer they're in Vegas, and they took a night out to be with us for the virtual show. So yeah, thank you all for making us a part of your weekend. So I can still have some feedback. Gary Hartman, I think it's you, or somebody's talking back there, but we're going to need you to monitor yourselves a little bit, and then you guys help me out behind the scenes as well, because we want this to be a good experience for the comedians, because most comedians think that Zoom's shows suck, and they're wrong, because this one's awesome. So, and that's the reputation that we have among the comics as well. We've actually converted a few to try a Zoom show just because of you guys, so thank you for that as well. Okay, so we're going to bring up your first comedian, and I haven't gotten to see him in person in way too long. He's a friend of mine. We go way back to the beginning at Flappers Comedy Club. He's a professional actor. He performs overseas for the troops. Put your hands together for Joel Bryant.
Yay! Joel Bryant! Yay! All right. Yes, I like a couple things I want to address. Jason, I don't know, because y'all have Zoom filters. I don't know what the filter is that makes your teeth look so spectacular. Oh my goodness. I was blinded. I was like, drop a link to your dental hygienist in the chat. Those are chompers. That's a few glasses of milk a day for sure. Secondly, I will vouch for the drink package on Carnival. Because just before the pandemic ended, I decided to take a Carnival cruise, and I got the drink package, and the limit is 15. And the reason why I know that is because at 12:25 a.m. when I was in the bar and I ordered a drink, the bartender wrote the number 15 on a napkin and slid it to me. I hit the limit, y'all.
Wow.
That was pre-pandemic. How bad do you think I was during the lockdown? But see, I don't see that number as a limit. I see it as a challenge. I broke Carnival. Also, last but not least, if I may, I might use my whole time just talking about this. Linda Cortarobles, that little box has had their hand up the whole time, and I don't know if it's an emergency. I don't know if it's medical. I don't know if you need to go to the restroom. Whatever it is, I don't know if you want a high five. I'm not sure what you're doing on Zoom, but I'm a little concerned. So
Sorry, that was a
It was
mistake.
her fault. It was her fault. It was her fault.
Sounds like a solid marriage in that Zoom box.
We're for 15. Oh, we got
Yes. Perfect. Look, I love this. Let's have fun. I want to have fun when I come on this, because the rest of the world's a little tense. I want to have fun. I'm not going to talk about any politics or religion. I hope that's okay with everybody.
Yep.
To 3 of you. Everybody else is tearing up their petitions like this isn't what we do here, Joel. They're like, you got to stick around for the after party. That's when we start signing things. I don't talk about politics or religion in my comedy. Nothing dark, nothing heavy, because A, y'all really don't care what I have to say about it, and B, I am super misinformed. So I am. I don't watch the news. I rarely go to church. I was home colleged. So I don't laugh too hard at that. I got 7 majors in 3 years. You hush. I was Dean Mom's favorite student, so leave me alone. This is awesome. I love being on this. I love being on this show called Live Comedy in Your Living Room. This is amazing. Now, I want to warn everybody, if you're watching this in like your kitchen, you may not get all the jokes. This is living room specific. Right? This is all the comics. We've tailored it to the living room crowd. Maybe if you're in a den, maybe a sitting room, it might. Maybe if you're in the foyer, you might get some of this. But if you're in the kitchen, the bedroom, a lot of this is going to go way over your head. And if you are in your living room and you don't laugh, that's just a connectivity issue. That's your Wi-Fi. But there are. Look. The good news is, look, we can still do things like this. It's amazing. We can connect to people all around the world, still doing comedy on Zoom. But there are some live shows happening because we beat COVID.
Yay!
It's not true. It's not true. I think we just don't know what comes after Omicron in the Greek alphabet. I think everybody's like, look, I wasn't in the fraternity. I have no idea what's after Omicron. Should we start using numbers? I know everything's opening up now. Things are the past few months, like I don't know if you were like me, but when they started saying like, look, bars are open and restaurants are open and theaters are open. I don't know if you were like me, but my immediate response was, so soon? I just got used to this new lifestyle of not showering, wearing boxers all day. Now I got to be around stinky, sneezy, sticky people. I miss some things during the shutdown. I miss some things. I miss not. Oh, that's a nice cough after a COVID joke. I miss. That's why we still do Zoom shows. No. I do miss some things during the shutdown. I do miss some things. I miss like going out in public now. I miss not being able to mute everybody in public. I miss that power. I miss that. I miss not being able to mute myself in public. You know what I mean? Like you realize now, if you're in a business meeting and you have to break wind, you have to hold it like a caveman. You know what I mean? Because you all were in that Zoom business meeting, and you have all the boxes, and you see Gary from HR hit mute and unmute really fast, and you're like, you just farted during a business meeting. That's what you did. Here's something else I missed. Here's something else. Do you realize 1 year ago today, here's what I missed. If you were drunk by noon and watching Netflix all day, people were very proud of you. Do you remember those days? Do you remember your buddy would call you and they'd be like, how are you doing? You're like, well, I've been drinking White Claw since 8 a.m. and I watched all of Queen's Gambit. And they're like, good job. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're surviving. Like, if you all call me tomorrow and I'm drunk by noon and watching Netflix all day, you'll just be like, Joel, you're a lazy alcoholic. That's what you're doing. And you would be accurate. I made some we all made some choices during the pandemic and before the pandemic without realizing how long it was going to be. Here's what I decided to do just before the pandemic hit. I decided to start dating a woman who lives in France. Yeah, and I'm not much of a relationship expert. That's not this kind of show, but I will not recommend dating a woman in a foreign country during a global pandemic with travel restrictions. Yeah, you thought the Cota Robles box was fighting earlier. Yeah. Now look, I do want to strengthen my argument. I want to strengthen my argument though. Here's why I dated her. She is a dancer in Paris. Yeah. I know. Everybody's looking at me like there's no way. No, it's true. And if you've never dated a dancer in Paris, I recommend it on every level. Except financially. That is a very expensive. And so when the pandemic hit, just like everybody else you're going to see on this show, like our schedule's emptied out. Like there was no more live shows. And I was like, well, I just met this dancer in Paris. Like I have to continue to date her, right? And we started losing all of our income, and then as things started opening up, I was like, good, I can make money again, because I don't know how much you think we all get for doing a Zoom comedy show on a Sunday night. It's not the windfall you would expect. This is not. I'm not buying the car. But I said, okay, I got to make money. I got to keep dating this girl. And so, and I thought, well, I can get like a side hustle, but I'm not going to start doing something. I'm not going to start like driving for Uber because the commute, you know what I mean? I just put it out there to the universe and to Jason, to the universe and everything else. I was like, I got to make money. And the universe responded with an email last month. Last month, I got an email, and I'll read it to you right now. And the email said, and this is the universe answering my calls. The universe said, "Dear Joel," on the email, which I thought was cute, because how nice is that? Dear Joel, we found you after Googling comedians for hire, which is weird because I don't know a lot of comedians that'd be like, you want to pay me? No, for the love of the game, buddy. And it continued to say, would you be interested in performing at a nude wedding on June 4th, 2022? There are no cameras allowed, and we can tell because of the wardrobe requirements. Kindly let me know. Sincerely, Richard. Which I thought was funny because you could shorten that name to something else. I wrote thanks for yelling that out loud. I wrote him back. I said, "Dear Richard, I'm flattered that you thought of me, both as a comedian and naked. To be honest, this is normally not a gig I would consider. And also, to be honest, I would like to ask, what would the pay for such an event be?" He wrote back and he said, "Dear Joel, the pay would be $700 for 35 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, "Dear Richard, I will see you on June 4th. That sounds great." Because the universe works in mysterious ways, y'all. Dreams do come true. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Jason.
All right. Joel Bryant, everybody. Joel Bryant. Fantastic, man. Way to kick this thing off. You got a lot of cool comments in the chat. You got to check them out, Joel. Melissa Davis said, "You hit it." And Carmen, who's one of our dear friends and Tony's partner, she said she loved your content. Good content, Joel. Good content. And a shout out to Daryl and Holly. I know that they're mutual friends of ours out there in the desert. And my mom really liked you, and she's all caps to let you know she meant it. So, okay. Are you guys ready for it? Thank you so much, Joel. By the way, he wasn't.
I don't know if I was supposed to respond to that, but thank you so much. I was putting on mute because I was trying to be nice, and then I unmuted. And now I'm ruining the whole flow of the show. So.
You're doing it all by like sign language. No, nothing can ruin the flow of the show, man. We just go wherever it goes. Okay. Right. Well, let's get our. I'm going to keep this thing moving because I know that we want to keep it to an hour, even though we have an extra comic. So that's why I'm trying to keep the pace a little. And your next comedian is filling in. I did a couple of weeks on the ship with a comedian. Her name is JC. And she had a kind of an emergency when she got off the ship. And so I reached out to somebody that I've been meaning to have back on anyway. We've only had a few repeats. He was going to be the next one, and he was good enough to come tonight. He is an Emmy Award winning writer for variety shows, comedy. He's been on The Tonight Show 6 times. He's been on Letterman 3 times. He was a head writer for Conan. Put your hands together for the very funny Bryant Kiley.
Oh, what a day I had today. Today I spent the day converting my son's bedroom into my office. That should get him to move out. Everything.
43.
So I'm from Boston originally, but I live in Los Angeles now, and things shut down here in March of 2020. So I haven't been to the gym since 1989. Get back out there. When the pandemic started, I drove by the park in my neighborhood and I spotted a guy sunbathing naked. I yelled, "Hey, buddy, put a mask on." What's he thinking? Oh. When the pandemic started, I saw a doctor on TV saying that we may have to wear masks for the rest of our lives. And I thought, I wish he had told me that before I got my kids' braces. I like to save where I can. So. But I've been very busy. I had a job interview last week. The guy asked me like 100 questions. At one point, he said to me, "Do you gossip?" So I said, "No, but you know who does." I haven't heard back from him yet. Little things bother me. Yesterday, the guy that was supposed to fix our doorbell didn't show up. Or did he? Some mysteries will never be solved. What a week. My aunt retired last week she worked at the DMV for 40 years. 40 years at the DMV. And in that time, she waited on nearly a dozen customers. I was talking to one of my neighbors. One of my neighbors said to me today, "You don't know this about me, but I've had a lot of Botox." Only one of us was able to keep a straight face. I got stopped by the police last week. The cop said to me, "You were going 70 in a 50. I said, 70 is the new 50.
Here.
Today I had one of those Impossible burgers. You know what I'm talking about? Those vegan hamburgers. They're delicious. I had mine with bacon. That's the way to do it. You ever have a friend you've known a long time tell you something that just blows your mind? Today, my best friend, who I've known my whole life, revealed to me that he's imaginary. I didn't see that coming. I was talking to one of my other friends today. He said to me, if there's a cyber attack, it could wipe out all of our banking information.
Oh.
So now I'm up late at night praying for a cyber attack. Oh, what else can I tell you? So when I was growing up, we had this little yellow cat called Butter. And years later, eventually, after he passed away, we got a new little yellow cat called I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. What else can I tell you? So my wife and I, we just celebrated our 29th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
And I'm happily married. I know that I'm lucky because 50% of married people say they're unhappily married. This is according to a poll I took earlier today at my house. That's her problem. My wife has this guy that she's worked with for years that she refers to as her work husband. They have 3 kids together. It's going very well. I met my wife on jury duty.
Oh, boy.
Thanks to me, she was acquitted. Oh, you can't trust DNA evidence. My wife's always shocked when I actually know something. Like the other night watching Jeopardy, and the question is, what's the tallest building in the world? And I said, oh, that's Burj Khalifa in Dubai. She's like, how do you know that? I said, well, when your parents are living with us, I Googled, what should I jump off of? And that's what came up. So we started seeing a marriage counselor, and the woman's given us some very valuable tips. For instance, she said, when you first wake up in the morning, the first thing you should say to each other is, I love you, and not you again. So my wife and I, we've got 2 kids. We're very fortunate. Years ago, we were told we were unable to have children by our landlord. He was completely mistaken. Very different being a parent these days. Every kid is on medication these days. Both my kids are on Rogaine. They insisted. My wife was the one that talked me into shaving my head. She said, I'll look much younger. And I do. I now look like I'm a week old. Wasn't really what I was going for. My kids are getting older. I've got 2 teenagers now. I've got 2 kids in college, and it was very hard for me when my kids went away to college. But they're both English majors, so we know they'll be back living with us in a couple of years. Silver lining. My teenage daughter thinks she knows everything. We're starting to regret naming her Alexa. Now that I'm a dad, I'll call my dad, ask for advice. He always says the same thing, you know. How'd you get this number? We call our dad G.I. Joe. My siblings and I, we call him G.I. Joe because his name is Joe, and he has gastrointestinal. My grandfather came to this country from Ireland in search of a better life, and Then my grandmother tracked him down and put a stop to that. I've done some research. It turns out I'm super Irish. Even my blood type is O apostrophe.
Oh my God.
You guys have been so nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic. Brian Kiley, everybody. Man, talk about filling in. See, everything happens for the best. We're really glad you came. I'm going to put this up. This is our next show, everybody. But while I'm talking to you, Brian, you got all kinds of good comments. I could hear my mom laughing, like to the point where I was afraid she was going to start wheezing. She has asthma. So don't kill my mom, man. Don't kill my mom. And Claire Bloom, I'm getting ready to do a show with her on March 18th at the Tarzana Community and Cultural Center. She left your doorbell joke. And this Thursday, by the way, I'm going to be at the Elks Lodge in Thousand Oaks, too, if you guys want to come out to that. Ann Romero gave you applause. Dallas Sankaran said, very funny. And Jan Powers Gaza said, loved your 70 is the new 50. So whoever's very politely talking to each other right now, we appreciate you doing that, but it still comes over like full volume. So if you guys want to talk like that, just go ahead and mute yourself and come back in. Everyone's been like a fantastic audience participant, so I don't want to shut anybody down, but just know that even like the quiet talk still comes across like full volume. Okay, everybody, are you ready for your next comedian?
Yes.
All right. Well, I just got to work with this gentleman on Carnival Cruise Line. Just a sec, guys. Give me a second here. I screwed something up. Follow host views. Okay, there we go. So I just got to work with this gent on Carnival Cruise Line. He's been on Dry Bar Comedy. He's got his own podcast going. It's like it's a Zoom show, actually. Very funny guy. Put your hands together for Brad Tassel. There he is.
Lost him. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Let me turn that off. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
No, turn your volume up a little, Brad.
Oh no. Well, I got the new mic, and I don't know if it works that well. So how's that?
No.
Go all the way up.
All the way up. What's wrong with your system? I don't get it. This is all.
There you go.
That better?
Yeah. A little better.
Okay, a little better. Well, I could get down on the mic and talk like this.
There you go.
Yeah. Hold the mic, man. Yeah.
Hold the mic up. What's going on here? See, I
There
bought
it
this
is.
$1,000 mic. By the way, Jason, I'm a little mad. I'm following the guy that's been on the Tonight Show 3 times. I live in Santa Claus, Indiana. What the hell's going on here? I haven't even watched the Tonight Show 3 times. Right? This is not right at all. So I'm looking at the disappointment in people's faces already. Who's that guy? I'm Brad. It's nice to meet you. Yes, I met Jason on the Carnival ship. I work for the Carnival. Y'all take Carnival cruises? Yay.
Yay.
I love Carnival. It's like the Walmart of cruising. It's the lowest level of cruising you can do. You go on Carnival, you see tube tops and you see stretch pants, and that's the men. I think it's beautiful. I love it. And Carnival too. And sometimes, you were talking. Who was talking about the ships? They get a little rocky. Jason, was that you? The rocky ship thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. I was on a ship one time, 30 degrees to the side. Anybody know how bad that is? The entire pool emptied into the ocean. Empty. The entire pool. People were screaming. It was on the TV. The captain came on. Bong, bong, bong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the navigation bridge. The pool is closed. So good. So I feel bad that I changed mics. I just got a brand new mic. I had a good mic, and I thought this show would get the new one. That was dumb. So, so as I said, I'm from Santa Claus, Indiana, which is a big comedy town of none. Anybody know where that is? Santa Claus, Indiana? Anybody? Jackie? How about Jason? I can see right up your nose, dude. Loving that. Loving it up the nose. Loving looking at you. But if you don't know Santa Claus, first of all, we have an amusement park. But the other thing is, if your child or grandchild sends a letter to Santa, we get it. If they put Santa Claus on an envelope, no, it's really true. For the last 100 and so years, Doesn't have to have a stamp. Post office sends it to us. If they put North Pole, it goes to Alaska. It goes to North Pole, Alaska. It really does. This last year, I think we got 130,000 letters from kids around the world to Santa, and we burn them, screw them. But get those kids on fire. We love it. Oh, I know. And I noticed Brian said he had kids that he doesn't like, and I have one. And it is tough. Boy, this is the year. Anybody else? The wife and I, it was tough. We dropped her off at the dorm. Anybody done that? Oh my gosh, that was hard on us. Have you done that? I'm looking at people. No, you haven't done that. It was harder on my daughter because she's 9. But you can't coddle these kids, or they're going to be coming back as English majors, as we've heard. Oh, hey, I wrote this joke, and it really, because I say, Jason, do you ever see something cute on the ship? Tell me if you. I just noticed this on a ship. You see the cutest stuff. I saw a little 7-year-old boy run up to. It could have been his sister, 8 maybe. One of them 7 or 8, running up on the promenade, running up and first of all, the thing you think on Carnival is, where's these kids' parents? But they're never near. So runs up, and the little boy says, "Hey, let's go to the candy store," because there's a candy store. Ever seen the candy store on the ship? And the little girl, 7, she goes, "Oh, it's not open right now." And then the little boy said the cutest thing. It's going to bring back to you. He goes, "Let's just go look in the window and dream." That made me feel so nostalgic for when I'm in Amsterdam.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going dirty. He said no dirty. I'm doing it. Also, I'm the only one dressed up for this show. What do you, Lou? What is this going on? Jason could be naked for all we know. Betsy. I tell you. So yeah, no, my daughter's actually 19, about to be 20. And I'm worried about the influences of the college. Y'all worry about your kids at the college and what's going to happen to them. Like anybody got a lot of tattoos? Let me see some tattoos. I'm going to go through my thing here. Just show them to me. Just raise your, no, not there, ma'am, but that's good. Okay. That was a little farther than I wanted, but anyway. Oh, sorry. So I just think, I've seen beautiful tattoos, and I've seen tattoos that I don't think are, and children should be exempt, right, Carmen? Because you're about to fall asleep. Wake up right there. Okay, thanks. Fall asleep. I think, like, a 16-year-old girl came up to me. I'm talking about this. 16. She walks up. She goes, "My tattoo's beautiful, and you're stupid, and I'm gonna love it forever. You can shut up, okay?" And I said, "What's your tattoo?" She goes, "Well, I've got a magic carpet on my rear end." I said, "Good, 20 years, you've got an area rug." 50, it's wall to wall, Shaggy. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh is right. Oh my gosh is right. Looking out right now. I got Bill on there going, "I didn't know Robin Williams and Jerry Springer had a boy." Look at that. That dude's weird. Everybody else is funny. This guy's just weird. So I didn't shave, Jason. Didn't think I was getting paid enough. So anyway, that Bryant guy looks sexy, so why shouldn't I? I know I look like people tell me all the time, 30 years. And that's not a bad thing, right? Robin Williams, right? Well, talented guy, right? Amazing guy, right? And a complicated guy. And really, it looks like Jason draws a crowd that's really old. Look at us. But so we're all at least not except for Jann, who's mad at me. But anyway, but see, the kids don't understand something, folks. And that is that our idols are dying, aren't they? And it hurts more. The empathy we have, I never knew we would have this much when I was young. Like my wife, when Prince died, and Bowie, anybody, Tom Petty, and all these people died. And I mean, Robin Williams passed away. It affected me so much more than I ever thought. And I was in England doing a show one time, and I was talking about this, and the guy goes, "Hey, you still look like Freddy Krueger. He's alive."
Oh, that's nice.
I know. Am I that ugly? Do I look like, people think I look like all the ugly people? Well, look, somebody called me Rod Stewart last week. He's 109. I'm looking at the women. Women can be so cruel, so cruel. A man knows if he's being a jerk. I had a woman come up to me in Vegas after a show. She goes, "You know who you look like? You look like Brad Pitt." And I was like, "What?" I was like, she goes, "In the first 30 minutes of Benjamin Button." I was on a Carnival cruise one time. Carnival cruise. Wow, kid. Jason came in 2 minutes early. I don't even get the whole 10. That's that's great. There you go. Not Jason. So I was on a Carnival cruise once, and I'm walking down the middle of the ship, and a guy walks in and goes, "Oh my gosh, you're Bill Gates." And I said, "Carnival cruise?"
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I forgot what I was talking about. So I got to wrap it up faster now because Jason wants me off quicker. Trying to think what to close with. I had a 2-minute bit ready and I've only got 1 minute left. So now it's 25 seconds. What am I going to close with? I don't know.
Do your thing, man. Do whatever you had.
Okay. Well, here's what I had. So I was talking about the tattoo thing and the piercings, and I just don't think a kid like piercings too. Anybody got a lot of piercings? Like I was at a biker rally one time. Any bikers? Yay. Bikers, Harley. Yay. Anybody got a Harley? I was doing a show one time. I said, "Anybody got a Harley?" Guy goes, "I'm straddling me a fat boy." I said, "That sounds like prison." But this kid you ever see the metal ring? He was 15. He had 5 metal rings over each eye. That's a curtain rod. That's what that is. And he had a tongue stud, which is the deadliest piercing. Did you know that? Did y'all know that? The deadliest piercing. More people die from tongue studs than any piercing at all because that little ball comes loose, drops in their throat, and they choke to death in their sleep. Isn't that sad? Not a big loss to society, but it's sad. So, not like if we're nuclear physicists or something, you know. Later, somebody's gonna come up to me and go, "Hey, look, I'm a nuclear pivifif." Okay, Jason's giving me the stink eye. Ladies and gentlemen, this is
All right.
my wounds.
Brad Tassel, everybody. Let him hear it.
Great job.
Nicely done, brother. Nicely done, man. I'm going to put this up for you guys while I share your comments, Brad. First of all, my sister-in-law, Susie, said, "Too funny." She would really enjoy. I don't know if I'll talk to you after, Susie. I don't know if you've ever been on Carnival, but you would love it. You're like the spirit of Carnival. just like people that just go to have fun. They don't have hang-ups and all of that. Thank you, by the way, Brad, for holding your mic to your mouth and changing on the fly for us. That made all the difference, man. And you didn't mention the Van Gogh painting that you're standing so conspicuously in front of.
Why not? I painted this. I don't know who you're thinking. It's my work.
Patty and I just went to the Van Gogh pop-up museum. I'm a huge fan, man. I love him. And then finally, Melissa Davis loved you, and while she was at it, she gave a shout out to the Brick Barn Winery in Buellton, where I'll have a show on March 17th. So if you live in that area, that one's a lot of fun. We do it every other month now. So shout out to Brick Barn. Okay, nice set, Brad, said Bunny Miller right now in the chat. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? Okay, your next comedian has also been on the Tonight Show, humble brag. She's been on Letterman. She's one of the best in the biz. Put your hands together for the very funny Jann Karam.
Yeah.
Did I get it wrong?
No, it's okay. Hey, good to be here. I'm in my art studio. Yeah. Okay, hold on, let me put some stuff away. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just pull out a virtual background when guests come over. Oh, just that would be nice, but no, we have to clean. No, I just don't have people over. But I don't like. I'm kind of self-conscious, a little bit nervous. I just left my parents' house to get away from comments, and then here I am thrown into a bunch of feedback. So it's really good. Because I say I do affirmations every day. Well, actually, my mom does them for me. She does negative. Writing a book. I was in Arizona, where I'm from, and she's writing a book, How to Take the Joy Out of Everything. So it's yeah. I'm from Arizona. Anybody I didn't see? That's where I was visiting, and there was no COVID in Arizona. It was the craziest thing. It just bypassed the state. No masks, no mandates, nothing. No, you didn't like that? You missed that? My mom never let us open up the curtains. She's like, no, don't let the sunlight in. In Arizona, when I first saw Dracula, I thought, oh, he must be from Arizona too. You can't let the sunlight in. But I worked out today. I don't know about all of you. I didn't go to a gym or anything. I just tried my jeans on all afternoon. I can't get them past my kneecaps. Anyone else? I mean, COVID, 2 years of COVID and lockdown. It's like lockdown and Little Debbie cakes. 2 years of COVID, my baggy jeans are now my skinny jeans. I don't have to go shopping. I have a new wardrobe. And my sweats are my leggings. So I have that's really good. I'm sick of, I'm so out of shape that even my earrings don't fit. I don't know if there's a gym equipment there or something I could do something for the holes here. I don't know. I'm not sure. But you got to exercise, though. You have to exercise, because if you don't, another girl will. And I'm so sick of exercising, are you? I mean, don't you think if you do it enough times, it should stay? Yeah. And then our whole lives, we take 2 years off. I mean, shouldn't we have credit? 5,000 sit-ups should be pretty much permanent. You should be at home. You're on your last and final jumping jack. You get a phone call. Hey, congratulations. You've completed the exercise portion of your life. Welcome to the Haagen-Dazs and donut hole segment. I could do that. So I'm trying to get my life together now. I was going to get my life together last year, but I blew it off. But I don't know, and maybe in a few years. I went to an aromatherapist because I'm all anxious that, you know what aromatherapy is? Mm-hmm. They use essential oils to help calm your mind and soothe your body. Well, it wasn't covered under my health insurance plan, so I had to go to a low-cost aromatherapist. She wasn't very good. She used those Glade plug-ins. I had to crawl around on all fours sniffing wall sockets. I'm reading that book too. I read that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. You know that, right? I did a lot of tidying up during COVID, and then, now I'm pulling things out of my trunk. I don't have any more clothes. What was I thinking? You need those fat clothes. This is stuff for the girls. Okay, two girls. But I'm reading that. I was reading Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. So basically, what doesn't give you joy, get rid of it. So I got rid of all my bills. Now I'm going to jail. I broke up with my boyfriend. We were together about 10 years, and that's finally over. Actually, the whole thing was over about 2 weeks into it, but it's so hard to end a relationship. You know, you just let it go on and on. You're waiting for something to happen. You're thinking, well, maybe he'll die. To stay right now during COVID. Oops, sorry. We just stayed together. We would have broken up a lot sooner, but new restaurants kept opening. Hey, here's something that I learned. You know, I'm not young, but I'm not old. But I've been in Hollywood so long. I've even lying about my mother's age. But here's something I learned about. There's two kinds of relationships that don't work no matter what. They're doomed to fail. Long distance and close by. Hearing anything like that? He looks at him, at her. Wait, Mike looks at Jackie. That's what I just saw. Mike's like, he's doing that elbow relationship, elbow thing. But you could tell how long two people been in their relationship. I'm looking at this guy's thumbs. You can tell how long two people been in their relationship by how much they can move their mouth when they talk, when they're around each other. You know, at first you're just like, oh, I'm so happy and free, and he's so sweet, and oh my God. And then month by month, year by year, all your muscles start contracting, and they work their way up into your neck, into your jaw. Pretty soon you start talking like this. I said I want a sandwich. We just go, I have got to get a knife. I mean, a life. My parents have been together for so long. There's so much built up hostility and resentment. They can't even chew. In their lazy boy recliners night after year after decade. My dad's in his chair watching Law and Order reruns, and my mom is in her chair watching my dad. I hate going over there because she just hits me all night long. Look at him, Jan. Look at him. Oh, get in here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at your father. I go, what, Mom? He's just sitting there. Exactly. Just stop breathing. I go, Mom, don't say anything bad about, I mean, he's a jerk. He's always been a big old jerk, you know? Or she goes, don't say anything bad about your father. I go, well, because I get confused. My dad likes to wash the dishes. Well, he doesn't like to, but he hasn't learned yet how. I was back there, and he goes, oh, you girls, you make the breakfast. I'll do the dishes. And we both go, no, don't wash the dishes, because we have to redo them. But my mom has to pretend like he knows what he's doing. And she'll go like, oh, he did the dishes. And we're putting them away. There's dried yolk on the back of the plate. And I go, Mom, there's dried yolk. She goes, don't say anything. It's going to make your father feel bad. But if I did that when I was growing up, they'd send me to my room. It's like, there's water spots on the glasses. You're grounded. It's always good to try something new at the end. So I was, people I notice though are very aggressive. Have you noticed lately from people aren't like, I was at a red light and this guy honked because I didn't go the second that the light changed to green. And on top of honking, he hits his hands on the steering wheel. I look back, he's like, and then he honks again. That is so rude. It's like, you don't know me. You can't be that hostile towards me. You don't love me. Don't you wish that cars had two different kinds of horns, like that loud, horrible one you're only allowed to use when it's an extreme emergency, otherwise you get a ticket or something, and another one that's just like like a throat kind of a sound. That's really all you need. It's green. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I was gonna go. I wasn't texting. I was just pulling a string off my pants. You guys have been so much fun. Thanks for having me in your living room. And I do have to
Hey. All right, nicely done. Jann Karam, everybody, let her hear it. Jann Karam.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got a lot of thank yous in the text coming in from Betsy and Carmen. Mindy really related to your exercising once and for all. I like that joke too, actually. And I have totally thought about that with the horns, where we should have like varying degree of emotion. Totally.
Yeah.
Like why don't they have that? I don't know.
It's not fair.
It's a perfect thing. Who's in, Sharks? We're gonna sell this. Give me an app.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nicely done. Thank you so much for doing it, Jann.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. And Tony, if I don't want to go flash the screen again, so would you mind putting the donation thing in the chat room if anyone is interested in donating to the comics? If you are, and then you can find it there, and then we'll just keep the show rolling. Are you guys ready for your final comedian?
Yay!
All right. Well, you've been fantastic so far, and you're in for a treat. This gentleman just headlined the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club this weekend. He's been on Comedy Central, Last Comic Standing, Conan. Put your hands together for Caleb Synan.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for clapping, everybody. You look great. I'm looking at you on gallery view. Everybody looks very, very good. You look amazing. Some of you could wipe off your camera, but that's all. We don't have to. It's just a minor note. You all look great. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out. I love you. Cheers if you got something. Hey, nice big thank you. Awesome. It's good to have a nice drink. I think I drank too much during lockdown. When I was locked down, I think it was too much. I went to the doctor. I was like, I think I'm drinking too much. He was like, how much are you drinking? I was like, every day. He was like, yeah, me too. You can lie if you want, but I thought one of us and I was like, I don't know, should I cut back? And he's like, I'm not going to cut back. And I was like, I was like, do you want to get drunk right now? He's like, I am drunk right now. Now that I think about it, that might not have been a doctor, but that was a guy I talked to. It's a man I spoke with, so we'll see. It's crazy. We still I fly a lot, and you still got to wear that mask on the plane, and that was good for a while. It kept people from talking. A guy tried to talk to me yesterday on the plane. He was talking to me. Isn't that the rudest thing you've ever heard? I think that's the rudest thing you can do. Turned his whole face right towards me, and he was like, hey, what do you do? And I was like, there's no talking. Like, yeah, you know, since COVID, there's no talking until the plane lands. He believed me. It turns out you can just lie. No one checks. No one knows. I don't know what the laws are. But the worst thing I did during COVID is I stayed with my parents for a whole month. I went and stayed with my parents for a month because I thought that I loved them. And, you know, that's, you know, we all make a mistake or two. But I don't know. It was a weird hang. My dad doesn't know how to start a conversation anymore. You know, my dad, his favorite thing, you walk in the door, my dad goes, did you take 85 down here? You take 85 down through 75, you take 285 over, and then you hook down, you get on 85, you take 85 down here. Yeah, Dad. Yeah, I took the roads. That's what I did. I took to go to your house. That's what I took. I didn't take a helicopter. I took a car on the roads. That's right. I don't know what he loves Christmas. Every time a dad walks in the door, he's like, you take 85 down, 275 down 85. You take 285. I don't know why dads love roads. Dads love roads. They love them so much. They love talking about them. They love looking at them. I think all dads are planning to leave their family at some point. They want to know how to get quick. They want to know how to quickly get back down to Mexico. Made good time. We made good time down in Mexico. It was weird. Everything in my dad's house has gone bad. I don't know. He thinks that expiration dates are fake news. He doesn't care for them. Believe him. I'm using mustard. It's green. I'm like, Dad, this mustard's gone bad. And he goes, you know, honey never goes bad. And I go, this is honey. This is not honey. This is not even mustard. I don't know why it's. Oh no, son. You know they found honey in the pyramids. All right, great. Well, then I'll put honey on my hot dog. How does that sound? I have a honey hot dog. Good job. You have a great house here. My dad's getting older. What age is it when dad's hands just bleed? That's just what they're doing. My dad's got 8 or 9 open wounds on his knuckles all day long. I don't know how it happened. He doesn't know either. I'm like, Dad, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I just woke up. I'm like, are you punching the wall in your sleep? What is going on? He's fun. We spent too much time together though. After a month, I got to see my dad cry. Didn't care for that. People always go, oh, men need to get in touch with their emotions. I'm cool if they don't. They don't need to do that. Moms should cry. I like it. It reminds me that everything's normal. It's kind of weird when my mom's not crying. She has a bunch of different kinds of cries. She has happy cry, sad cry, movie cry, commercial cry. She has I don't know why I'm crying cry. That's a fun one. There's a lot of different kinds. Moms have lots of different kinds of cries. Dad have one kind of cry, and it's, oh no, dad's crying. Why is this happening? This is scary. He doesn't even know what noise to make. When my dad's crying, it sounds like the shower's too hot or something. He's like, ooh, and I'm like, all right, Dad. Need to pick a noise in the face. He's not ready to cry. I hung out with my grandma during COVID. I know you weren't supposed to, but she told me to come over there, and she knows how to get a conversation going. She gets it going quick. As soon as you walk in the door, she's like, you know who's dead? And I'm like, oh, all right. I don't know who's dead. Who's dead, Mimi? And she's like, your 2nd grade teacher died. And I'm like, oh. I never know what face to make. Ooh, like, I don't know. That's what they want. When people tell you someone's dead, they want you to go, but it keeps going. She has more information. She goes, you know, she died before she hit the floor. And I'm like, oh. How do they know that? How do they know that? That's a weird, hey, she died in midair. These are very good detectives. I don't know how they know, but that's her favorite. She loves to talk about who's dead, and she loves talking about the old days. That's her favorite. She's like, everything's better in the good old days. I don't think that's true, but she says it. Everything was better in the good old days. I go, no. I looked it up. Everything was not better. You didn't have Google. You thought it was better. They don't even sound better. When I ask her what's so good about it, it doesn't sound good. She goes, oh, the good old days, everything was better. We walked uphill both ways, no shoes, no socks, no feet, no toes, dead teacher, school burned down. Whoa, okay. That sounds like the worst days I've ever heard. Why would that be good? You get to pick what you say, and you said that? That doesn't add up. Nothing adds up about the old days. She goes, oh, we didn't even lock our door at night in the good old days. And I'm like, oh, why not? Did your doors have a lock? Yep, they had a lock. Did your house ever get robbed? 8 times a year, house got robbed. But, we never locked our door. I don't know. You should have locked them. They came with locks. That is a helpful hint. They don't sound so good. I grew up in the 90s, and I don't care if I'm 1,000 years old. I will never call them the good old days. I will call them the fine old times, because they were fine. And if you were alive in the 90s, you remember, you'd wake up and you go, huh? Because that was the mood of the 90s was, hey, we'll see. I don't know. We're trying. No Google. Not sure how I feel, but hey, we'll check it out. One cool thing was that the 90s people were trying. We failed at everything, but we tried. And that was, you get a mark for effort. They tried with bullying. I remember that. I got to go to school. The 80s, they didn't try. They were like, if you see a nerd, throw him in the trash. It's the 80s. We're having a good time. Throw the nerds away. And that was fine if you grew up then. But in the 90s, they said, let's stop. Let's stop it. Teachers would go, don't bully the nerds. And we'd go, who are the nerds? And she'd be like, well, she's a nerd right there. Nerd over there. See his big weird head? Stand up and show him your head. Nice. Made our job a lot easier. Should have done it the old way. Teachers didn't know. They didn't know anything. They didn't have Google. Teachers were just trying stuff. I don't know if you had, I'm sure you had this. Teachers used to make you line up by height. That was something they would do. Teachers would go, hey kids, let's line up by height in 3rd grade. I don't know why they do that, but they're not supposed to. I looked into it. That's not in the curriculum. That is just a bored teacher just running experiments on kids. Kind of creepy. Just some hungover teacher. Hey, why don't y'all line up by height? Line up by height real quick. This will be fun. We're going to hurt everybody's feelings at the same time. Everybody line up. Here we go. Not a very good idea. It's third grade. Girls are still taller than boys. The tallest person is some girl with a horse shirt on. She's standing in the front like, oh no, no, I don't want to be huge. I'm the biggest one. She's crying. It's very sad. I don't know. I just turned 30 and I don't like it at all. I do not like it. I became grumpy so fast. I didn't know I was going to get grumpy on my birthday. Like the second my head popped off my pillow on my 30th birthday, I was just like, kids out here. I don't like what the kids are doing out here. Yeah, it's not music. These kids are playing. What are you smoking cigarettes for, young man? Quit smoking that cigarette. I don't like it. If you're 20 years old smoking a cigarette, I'm going to flick it out of your mouth. You better stop. You better stop smoking it around me. What are you smoking for? What are you smoking for, young man? What, did you have a tough day being 20? Is that what happened? You got to take the edge off of 20 with a cigarette. Oh, it's tough out here being 20. I don't know what I'm doing. Both my shoulders feel good all the time. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, it's tough. Hard life. In 20, got 6 more years on my parents' insurance. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know. Calm down. I try not to get too bitter, but some of my friends, they get in that mode. They can't even watch football anymore. They just bring it up. Hey, can you believe this guy's 19? I'm like, yes, I can believe he is 19. He is running really fast. That was a clue. What do you want to watch old people play football? What world do you want to live in? I'm glad they're young. I'm glad athletes are young. I'm glad rock stars are young. I'm glad rappers are young. The only thing I don't like is young country singers, because that is not even real. That's not true. You are not a cowboy, fella. With cowboy, where'd you even get that cowboy hat? I'm a good old boy. I'm a good old boy. Driving my truck on a dirt road and a fishing in a creek. I don't think you did any of that. You were born in 2003, dude. I know what you're doing. Not John Wayne. You're not a good old boy. You're a nice young man, but you're not a good old boy. Don't play that with me. Don't believe you. Every Gen Z country song should just be like, well, I was playing Fortnite, vaping in my car, because that's what I'm doing. What are you doing? I don't do. I don't think so. The worst part now about being 30 is I don't have a house. And, I really thought I was going to have one. That's what they told me in school. Remember that? They'd go, you're going to grow up and have a house. And I was like, what? All right. That's great news. I'm going to draw one right now. I'll draw my house. Had a big sun in the corner. Had my face in the window there. I had a chimney with smoke going all everywhere. It was great. But I never drew an apartment. I didn't draw an apartment one single time. And I don't think there's a kid in the world sad enough to draw a whole apartment. That is a sad kid. Teacher's going to have to stop that. I'm like, what are you drawing there? He's like, this is my apartment. Oh, pretty living in the same one. Yeah, there's all 7 of my roommates in the window there. Very sad, but thank you guys so much. You're the best crowd in the world.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Nicely done, man. Let him hear it, everybody. Caleb Synan. Funny stuff, man.